Well, it has been a minute since we last visited Outdoor Travel, and they have been busy, which, if you travel along the QEW Niagara, you've probably noticed their brand spanking new facility. Pretty fancy. RVs as far as you can see. Let's go check it out. Well, welcome inside. Whoa, pretty fancy new digs. Good to be back with Dave Newman. Good to see you, Dave.
It's great to be back.
Congrats. Listen, it has been a little bit. When did the new spot actually open?
So we opened in October 2020.
2020. Man, time is flying
so
by.
It's been a year and a half.
Okay. Anybody that didn't know, your old location was in Hamilton, and now is this, where are we exactly?
In Beamsville.
How's Beamsville been treating you?
Excellent. It's a great little town.
Well, the thing is great about the space, too, because how much property are you sitting on here?
15 acres. The building is an acre, 42,000 square feet.
But what does it offer your customers, this new space?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, it's a great place to come and look. With COVID, we've had a lot of first-time buyers, a lot of people interested in the lifestyle, and they come to us with a ton of questions. What to buy, how to buy it, how to finance it, what to consider, new or used, and we have the answers.
Okay.
Sometimes customers think of used because they think that it's going to be a little bit less, but it's good to look at new too, because the price separation is not as much as you think, because RVs do hold their value. And there's three main types of RVs.
Right.
Fifth wheels, motorhomes, and travel trailers.
Okay, so that's a fifth wheel
And
right
these are
there. This is a
Travel trailer.
I'm a little rusty on my RV. I used to be up to date on it because we did it a lot of time when we saw you, but I'm a little rusty on it. So this one here is
Travel trailer.
Travel trailer.
It's a 17-foot travel trailer.
So why is this good for a first timer?
That's what most people think is something small, but what's important is to come and get inside the RV, bring the whole family, and you could start by looking at small stuff like this, but quite often customers, when they do start coming, they're going to look at something
a little bit bigger. What would this
like
one? What would this one that Luke's in right now? What would that be ideal for? How big a family?
A family of up to 4 with what we call a minivan type vehicle.
Yeah, because what kind of vehicle do you need to drag this one?
That's an excellent point, because what we suggest is to come look at the RVs and get a feel for what size fits your family the best.
Okay.
And then look at the tow vehicle to match the trailer.
So that's a travel trailer.
This is another.
We got the fifth wheel. We're going to get to that one in a little bit. I was like, can you make it? We're just leaving Luke to see if he can get it in and out. So this guy here is bigger. So who's this ideal for, Dave?
A family of up to 6 or so, and this is a more popular size. This trailer is about 28 feet. It's got one nice big slide, and it's got 2 big bunk beds in the back. But when you get into this size, you simply have a lot more living space. So it's great to come with your family, get inside it, get a feel for what size is going to work, and then worry about the tow vehicle after.
Okay. Do you need to be booking an appointment? Can you just come and pop in? What's the best way to go about it?
No, now it's good to call or email, but you don't have to make an appointment. We're open now 7 days a week with good stretched hours. A common question too is how best to pay for it, and the banks have special programs designed just for RVs with flexible terms and competitive rates, so that's a good thing to consider. The other thing too, the customers got to understand, it's camping, and you know you're going to smell like smoke sometimes. You're going to get mosquito bites. You're going to eat healthy, get a lot of fresh air, and have a great time. But we do rent a good variety of RVs at the dealership.
Okay.
So it's good to maybe consider renting one first to make sure.
Yes, and here's the other thing that's really quite popular is off the grid RVing. And we're going to take a break. We're going to come back to the fancy new digs here in Beamsville. It's outdoor travel, and get into what off the grid really means and why it becomes so popular. When we return on Morning Live. Where's the bathroom, Dave? Oh, perfect. There it is. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Outdoor Travel. Not sure if you knew, but they relocated from Hamilton to Niagara region back in 2020. First time I'm here. Very impressive facility. Great to be back with Dave Newman. And listen, the RV sector really increased the past couple of years.
Got popular.
Through the pandemic, still continuing. And there's a term that you're hearing more and more is off the grid.
Yes.
Okay.
We used to call it dry camping.
Dry
Customers
camping?
used to call it boondocking. Somewhere along the way, someone started using the term off the grid. And what it means is the ability to use the RV not at a campground. At a campground, you get hookup. You get to plug it in. You have water source. You can easily dump the holding tanks. But a lot of customers want to have the ability at least to go away just for the weekend.
Right.
And
like
not
something
be-
like this one, something like this one, these are two models that you have. You don't need to plug in. It's all within the unit themselves.
Yes, it is. There's two things that they do. They put in a solar panel charging system,
So is that up on the roof?
mounted up on the roof right of the factory, and that gives you the ability to use just about everything inside without being hooked up at a campground.
Would you know how long it would last? Does it kind of depend?
Well, you've got a bank of batteries that store the electricity, and there's a control box on board that tells you how much you've got. But if you get a sunny day, there's enough capacity to keep the batteries charged. The other thing that we do with a lot of RVs now, and we've got a good variety of travel trailers and fifth wheels. Anywhere, if we're looking at two smaller ones here, but the bigger trailers and fifth wheels have the same capabilities, and they're putting in bigger holding tanks, so that the campgrounds have got busy, but they do have overflow areas.
Right. So
Where
even
you
if
can
they,
use an RV like this.
even if they're packed, then you can still hook up.
But sometimes customers want to go to friends to stay for the weekend or
Right.
go to sporting events, and they got a great graphic here Grand Design had where they show Cousin Eddie on Christmas vacation dumping his tanks into the sewage system. If he had an RV that was good for off the grid, they wouldn't have had to shoot that scene.
Cousin Eddie, right? We know all about that because the is full. What's the difference between that one and then the one that Luke's going into right now?
So the first one was a model with bunks. This is one of the smallest Imagine travel trailers by Grand Design. And you've got lots of seating in it. This trailer is only about 17 feet long, but what you've got in the front there is a Murphy bed. That's kind of been a bit of a...
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Right behind there.
I'll show you how...
Okay. Does it pull down?
Oh, it's just,
it easy?
it takes 2 seconds. So you got a nice sofa here. This flips over. And then at night when you're ready for bed, you don't have to make it up. You drop this down. And you can leave the bed made up, your sheets and everything. Bingo. You've got a walk-around bed, a sofa, theater seating, tons of counter space, huge holding tank capacities.
Perfect.
And it's only 17 feet long.
Okay. Do you rent these ones too?
We do.
You do. Okay.
We've got mostly motorhomes we rent for people to try it out, but with travel trailers.
Okay. Something else that you're starting to see too is with the housing prices going up, cottage prices going up, people actually just settling in a recreational vehicle. So we'll kind of show off some of those models at their fancy new facility
At a
here
big
in
sale.
Beamsville. Oh, hear that from Dave? He said big sale.
Starts today.
Starts today. Look at these teasers he's giving you. Goodness. We'll be back on Morning Live. Oh, hello. Well, the popularity of recreational vehicles has really increased the past couple of years, and we've been talking about all morning here at Outdoor Travel. But you're also seeing with the increase in pricing of housing and cottages, and people wanting to capitalize on that, and maybe even downgrade a little bit. Dave gets a question. I want you to come on in here, because what's the question that you get a lot, Dave?
People come to us usually with an existing piece of property they have access to with the question, can I live in an RV? What's the possibility? And the short answer is yes, but there's things to understand. This is a fifth wheel, and if someone's actually going to live in an RV, a fifth wheel is better choice. It's more residential. You get a much taller ceiling than on a regular RV, bigger, deeper slide outs, so the height in the slide out is a lot deeper. But you get more floor plans that are really like a small house. This is about as big as they get, 42 feet.
This one's 42 feet.
It's two bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. But look at the kitchen here. You got a pantry behind you.
Because
like
generally
you
if somebody's
see.
living in an RV, they're retired and downgrading into a smaller space. Maybe the kids are gone, right? So it might be only a couple.
Well, yeah, it's not just for housing, but if you're looking for something to kind of go semi-full-time or full-time living, then the fifth wheel is.
And then with the fifth wheel, you have the option to travel around with it too.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the bathroom. There's the front bedroom.
You got front bedroom, and you'll see there's tons of wardrobe space because the bed slides out, and this has a king-size
Which is
bed.
kind of important if you're living in it. You need a little bit more space than just on the weekend.
And the fifth wheels are better for cold weather. They're typically better
Okay, yeah.
insulated.
What about the winter? Take us through the winter stuff.
So, I mean, this is a Solitude by Grand Design, and they actually factory test it. They rate it as 4 season. They call it 0 degrees tested, which 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about minus 18 degrees Celsius. So you could use them up here all year, but there's lots of precautions to take. And we've got, our staff understands that if customers are interested in finding out about it, we can give you the details.
What does it run on? The heat?
You've got electric heat, you've got fireplaces that work off electricity,
Right.
plus electric heat in the air conditioning system, and a propane heating system, but they're factory tested here. And what they do is they actually have a building, it's a controlled test,
Right.
where they run it down to minus 18 Celsius and the trailer remains fully functional.
Okay. And then you got the grandkids or the kids in here, if they are coming to visit for the extra space?
Well, you've got a full trifold sofa here and a few bunks and another full bathroom and an entrance at the back too, which is nice to have.
If you want to see nature while you're, I don't know, using the services, you can do that, which we used earlier on. Good stuff. Okay, so starting today, Dave, you're having people back into the new space, and it's pretty exciting because you do have a great new space here in Beamsville. So
Yeah,
open house starts today and goes all weekend.
4-day open house. We got the barbecue going on the weekend. It's a very COVID-friendly environment. The showroom's a 3-story building, so it's nice and open. We've got advanced circulation, but of course, customers come. Most of the RVs are outside.
Okay.
Everything's open, and we love customers to come and have a look. Everything's unlocked. Everything's priced. You don't have salespeople looking over your shoulder. You're free to browse around.
And Luke won't be here with a camera and annoying you either. He is here for one more, though. We'll come back. Outdoor Travel on Morning Live. Well, we thought for our final visit here at Outdoor Travel, new location in Beamsville, we wanted to show off, this is what Dave calls the crown jewel, because this is the service area. And this is pretty important, and you're proud of this area too, because, I don't know, things happen. Things break down.
That's the message we like to give, especially new buyers. RVs aren't built with the level of sophistication that most people assume. It's not like the car industry. So it's important that a dealership is dedicated to give customer an excellent experience, and that's by being focused on service. And it's nice to have the showroom and all that, but this is literally our crown jewel because it's so important to service what we sell. We wanted to go over as well some of the new things that have come out with the RVs and changes to some of the floor plans.
Well, we were talking, the last one we were talking about was living in your RV. And you suggested fifth wheels because they're they're bigger, higher, and then something like this has a lot of storage in it.
They have. What they've done recently is raise the back of the fifth wheel as well. You can get one models, this has got the kitchen back here, but living space or bedroom.
What model is this?
This
Solitude?
is a Solitude by Grand Design.
Okay.
And it gives you this massive storage area at the back. So if you're traveling, boy, you got room to put.
Or if you did want to live in it.
Yeah.
Right, there is space to live in it too. And what size is this one?
That's 41 feet.
41 feet, okay.
And this is another big one. And when customers are looking and they're getting guidance from us as to what type of RV to choose, usually the first sort of fork in the road is whether they want a bunk model or not. And there's been some new floor plans recently.
When you say bunk model, what does that mean?
It would be an RV where you actually have bunk beds. It would be a family with kids.
Like we saw in the last one.
Yes.
It had bunks.
That had the bunk room in the back, and we sell a ton of travel trailers and fifth wheels that are bunk models. And we've got now fifth wheels like this, what we call a mid-bunk. In the middle here, we've got a room, which if it's a family and they've got kids, you can have it with bunk beds, but sometimes a couple's looking to buy a fifth wheel or a trailer, but they want to have extra sleeping that they're not going to use their main living space for.
You know what this is good for? Let me sneak by you here, Luke. Because, I don't know, I have kids, Dave. So I know it's like this. It's like, ah! 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 You get the idea.
And then this particular one has the big loft bed above it.
Up top here. So similar to the one we saw last time,
Yes.
right? Up top.
Just a different configuration.
So then this would sleep how many?
This conceivably could sleep up to 8 people. But we've got travel trailers as well. Like, we've been looking at this last 2 segments, a couple of big pieces, but we got travel trailers with the same kind of idea where you've got a bunk beds in your living space that don't create a situation where you lose living space.
Okay. I think you always encourage people that you need to be coming in and stepping into the models like we've kind of teased this morning, right? To really kind of get a sense of what they're all about and have one of yourself or one of your salespeople kind of step through it. And starting today, running all weekend long, kind of your first big open house in the brand new space. It's not in Hamilton anymore, if you didn't know, in Beamsville. I'm pointing at you just to make sure that you remember that. In Beamsville, right off the QEW, easy to get here. So it starts today and goes all the way till Sunday, Dave?
Right through Sunday.
Right through Sunday. And you don't need a book appointment, you're going to show up?
Come on in. We're expecting lots of people. It'll be lots of fun.
Yeah.
Ontario Street's the exit in Beamsville.
Beamsville. Hey, congratulations. Great new space.
Thank you. Nice to see you guys back.
Thanks for the tour.